joins me now. Mr. Senator, is Israel heading into a wider war directly with Iran?
Well, it sure could be. This is what happens when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris give us war through weakness. And there you hear the comments of the vice president right now, how she cut the legs out from under Prime Minister Netanyahu on his peace plan as well. And this really goes back to October the 7th. October 7th doesn't happen if we have a strong leader in the White House. Why does October 7th happen, the Hamas attack? It happens because Iran has the money, the funding, and the whereabouts to train Hamas. Remember, under President Trump, Iran essentially had no money left. But now under Biden and Harris, Iran has $80 billion out there creating havoc. We're seeing this fire cake go off because of war through weakness that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris give us.
Well, Democrats are truly split on Israel. How is Kamala Harris, how is she going to respond?
Yeah, I think we saw a response right there. She says one thing to Benjamin Netanyahu in private, and then she walks out and cut his legs out from under him. Her comments are catering to a political coalition in Michigan and Minnesota, which are very critical to her election. So she's putting her election ahead of the national security of this country and peace in the world. Look, America needs to stand beside Israel. Israel has every right to defend themselves. I want to point out one last thing. The person that Israel took out in Hezbollah in Beirut, Lebanon, was involved in the murder of about 243 Marines, American Marines, in 1983 in Lebanon. This is the same person that helped plan that attack, and here's Israel trying to slow down the war from their enemies as well. They're helping America, obviously.
A different subject now, but you are demanding answers from Google about censoring Trump and the assassination attempt. Tell us about that, please, Mr. Senator.
Yeah, so if Google wants to be MSNBC, then they need to lose their protection on 230. Google is supposed to be the county square where you and I and your listeners can go post information that we want to. They're not supposed to be a censor, so they're functioning as a censor, therefore they should lose their 230 protection. When you Google, and you can do it right now, Google assassination of TRU, of Trump, but it's going to pop up Truman instead. So they're directing traffic away. They don't want to see President Trump viewed as a hero, which he was on that day when he literally took a bullet. He stands up, he yells, "Fight, fight, fight." So Google is actually, this is election interference in my estimation. What is the value of the largest search engine in the world actually suppressing President Trump?
Good question. Right now, Senator, the Senate Budget Committee is holding a hearing on the future of EVs, and they're taking the Greenies to task. Watch this.
Yeah.
Should we do more to mine for critical minerals domestically?
The U.S. is to remain competitive across all vehicle platforms, that the supply chain piece is fundamental.
I think you expressed the inconsistency between environmental policies and what the same environmentalists think we ought to do for EV vehicles.
Mr. Senator, is the Green New Deal just beginning to fall to pieces?
Well, I think the rest of America has seen what we already knew, that this was a religion. Look, electric cars are actually coal-powered and natural gas cars. These electric car mandates by the federal government actually help China, and they hurt American car companies and they hurt American workers. The mining is one small piece of that. Whenever we have electric-powered cars, instead of making engines, we're sending battery technology and making batteries and mining these critical minerals in China for the most part. So electric car mandates actually help China. And one last point I would put on this is that the Highway Trust is going broke right now, that electric cars are not paying their fair share of the Highway Trust, which actually is how we rebuild our roads and bridges and hurts our economy.
That comes out of the gasoline tax, doesn't it? Senator Roger Marshall, Kansas, thanks so much for joining us, sir. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, Stu.